So thank you, Mr. Richard. So I'll go direct to the point. So, the focus was by being ombudsman, but actually I had more time as a Supreme Court justice, and before that as Court of Appeals justice and as regional trial court judge, which started my climb up the judicial ladder. In early 1982, my father, a retired judge of the Davao del Sur Court of First Instance. Court of First Instance was then the former name of Regional Trial Court Judge now. He would prod me daily as I prepared to leave for the Department of Justice where I worked for almost 12 years. He would prod me daily, anak ko, mag-apply ka na as RTC judge habang buhay pa yung second Ferdinand in Philippine history. So, Ferdinand Marcos was his classmate at the UP Law, and he was very confident that with me being also an Ilocana, I would bag a position as regional trial court judge. So, while I was actually hesitant to apply as judge, it dawned on me that out of filial gratitude, I should obey whatever he wished. So I applied, and of 10 Department of Justice employees who applied for the position, I was the lone casualty. Fate was not kind to me. So I cried on end for years, for months, prompting an office mate of mine to give a novena. I have to confess I'm not religious, but I communicate to God every day. So for every day for 3 months and a little more days, I prayed to God. I recited the novena and capped my prayer with, God, please make me a regional trial court judge anywhere in the Philippines. That's how frustrated, how dejected I was. So fortunately, after 3 months, I got a call from the office of then Justice Lazaro that was appointed to the regional trial court of Pili, Camarines Sur. I was told that Pili was near Naga. I've heard of Naga before, but I've not heard of Pili. Little did I realize on hindsight that the novena I was praying to was to the Virgin of Peña Francia, the patroness of the Bicol region, which fiesta is celebrated every year in Camarines Sur. Siguro tama rin naman na matyaga akong nagnovena. So God rewarded me even if I was not, and I'm not religious. So while I indulge in self-pity, being not thrown, maybe I should not insult the region where Senator De Lima is from. Even if I was assigned to a far place, I commuted weekly from Manila, or rather from Muntinlupa to Alabang, to Camarines Sur, and Camarines Sur to Muntinlupa. The appointment left me ambivalent, of course, because I would be leaving my then 10-year-old son and another 8-year-old son, and they would be left alone in the house, given that my husband was also assigned in Baguio, so we would only meet on weekends. But if I did not accept the appointment, I would leave my father heartbroken and realizing that he might go 6 feet below the ground anytime now. I said, I have to accept the position. My life drastically changed after that. Every week, without fail, I would commute by land, mostly from Muntinlupa to Pili, a stretch of 450 kilometers. Every time I left, my son would cling to me tightly and told me, Mommy, please come back. I'm in the verge of tears because my son left us 8 years ago. And until you reach or you experience a mother whose son goes ahead of you, you won't realize how sad you are. Sorry, baka sabi niyo sa akin, despite my feisty public appearance, I am also human. I can also be, maarte. Every time I left Pili for Manila on Friday night, I would first go to the market to buy fresh meat and to buy fresh fish. I would have them frozen. And in the evening when I left Naga, I would carry with one hand a carton of fresh meat and on the other hand a carton of fresh fish, drawing the curiosity of the bus driver. Mrs., ano ba talaga ang business nyo? To which I replied, pahambol ko no, sari-sari. Okay? In the course of my weekly travels, a typhoon hit Camarines Norte that stranded about 100 plus buses. And given the 10 hours of delay, we ran out of food. We had to scavenge for food. And a passenger, my co-passenger, came to me and said, Judge, meron akong ensaymada from my bakery. So my identity was unveiled. Yung paarte-arte na nagbebenta ng sari-sari, naging judge bigla. So, there's this saying that hunger knows no law. I would add, ethics knows no law. Siyempre, gutom ako, tinanggap ko yung ensaymada. I'm trying to shorten my prepared speech because I don't like Senator De Lima to be waiting and she has an appointment after this. But more than just dreaming, did I dream the impossible? Yes, I did. But more than just dreaming the impossible, I made that dream possible and real. I broke through the ceiling glass thanks to the confluence of several factors and actors. First and foremost, of course, my parents. As I earlier told you, he was the one who egged me to apply for the judiciary because he wanted the values, the virtues that he inculcated in us to be applied. These virtues and values could be courage, compassion, honesty, humility, ambition, modesty, and generosity. Of course, the empowering support of my husband was also contributory to the realization of my dream. Not that he had any choice. He also enabled me to pursue my legal and judicial career. His limitless reservoir of love, understanding, and patience allowed me to devote my time and energies to work while fulfilling my maternal and wifely duties. Imagine being away for more than 3 years and 4 months from my kids, where many women are relegated to the backseat and subjected to multiple burdens. I am fortunate to have had, past tense, patay ng asawa ko, a true partner who allowed me to soar to greater heights by becoming the wind behind my wings. Behind ba tayo, ha? Second, the inspiring examples and lessons of my mentors have contributed to my work ethic and values. My professor, the late Justice Secretary Vicente Abad Santos, who would later become an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court and who took me in as a special assistant, encouraged and inculcated in me a deep sense of honor, justice, fairness, and respect for the rule of law. He expected the highest quality of legal opinions, but he was also generous with praise when rightly deserved. Third, my humbling experience on the road to becoming an RTC judge shook the core of self-entitlement that the young like me then are wont to believe they deserve. When I was nominated to the position of RTC in sa publicity, I was complacent and confident, thinking that I had the right qualifications to bag the appointment, being an Ilocano, like the first, the second Ferdinand of Philippine history, a graduate of Premier Law School, Alisin muna natin ang modesty, ha? Not to mention that he was a classmate of my father at the UP Law. During the commencement exercises of the UP Law Class 2016, during which the Board of Regents conferred on me the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa, like wala na si Len. She wanted to become a doctor also. I had the opportunity to advise the graduating class not to fall into the false sense of self-entitlement. To them, I emphasized that a diploma should not be about self-entitlement, for although it provides the key to the opening of doors of opportunity, what determines is one says or overstays, the welcome is one of competencies and skills. Fourth, my weekly trips and on the roads to Pili and back for 3 years and 4 months were lessons of humility, tenacity, and perseverance. These values sustained me in my judicial career and later in my work as ombudsman. Speaking of my work as ombudsman, before I was appointed, my one former ombudsman was saying, matanda na yan, hindi dapat mag-ombudsman. While indeed I was reluctant to apply or to be nominated as ombudsman because I wanted at 70 to have the luxury of retirement. I've just aged myself. I'm now 82 years old. So I was challenged. Mamaya pa yan. Wala pang, wala pang immodesty yan. All right. I was challenged. So when I was interviewed by the Judicial and Bar Council for the position of Ombudsman, Justice Hermosissima was a member of the Judicial and Bar Council. Sabi niya, Justice, hindi ba demotion yung magiging ombudsman ka pa sa? And I said, it's not the rank or the position. It's how you serve your country that matters. Yabang, ano? Magyabang tayo konti. Wala munang modesty. Of course, just as the bumps on the road, the inclement weather encountered on those trips, and the risks to life and limb, the lengthy travel, and an overly inquisitive bus driver could not deter me from making the weekly trips to Pili and back. The struggles and challenges that came could not and did not outweigh my tenacity and perseverance in my quest for public service. Kunti na lang, Laila. Technology has grown exponentially and exceptionally fast in the 20th century. Whatever shape the future will take, I believe that science and technology cannot offer sufficient substitutes for the values and virtues that brought us to where we are today. To me, the virtues of courage, again, I spell them out, compassion, honesty, ambition, humility, modesty, frozen muna, and generosity have propelled me to where I am today. I hope to pass them to my grandchildren, NU and CC, who serve as my sources of inspiration and energy now that they have been orphaned and bridges to the future. As I told them through a letter that I read in response to my citation at the Ramon Magsaysay Awards ceremony, gender and age are not relevant in the crusade for a just and honest society, the primary qualification being unassailable integrity, earned through the consistent application of the rule of law. For both my grandchildren and all young Filipinos, I pray that imbibe these virtues and values, moral courage, and pass them on to the next generation. Women like you, sorry, may lalaki ba dito? Marami. Have scored major successes in your respective fields of endeavor. You too have your own ingredients for success. Your stories, like mine, will hopefully create ripples of inspiration and emulate them. Let me end with two quotes from a pioneer and successful CEO, Josephine Esther Mentzer, more popularly known as Estee Lauder, whose line of skincare and makeup I use. There's this saying in Latin, res ipsa lucitur. The thing speaks for itself. Again, forget the modesty. The first quote goes, I didn't get here by dreaming or thinking about it. I got here by doing it. The second quote goes, persistence. It's that certain little spirit that compels you to continue just when you're at your most tired. It's that quality that forces you to persevere. Find the route around the stone wall. It's the immovable stubbornness that will not allow you to cave in when everyone says, give up. Cheers to the Filipino women.